This is Unwind, Part 35 of Surrogate, the Director's Cut, written by Kraiva. The rating is mature. No archive warnings apply. The fandom is Malevolent, the podcast.
Additional tags. Oh, right, this is forced family, not found family. Sometimes you gotta crack a few backs to make an omelet. Low-key want Hastur to crack my back, though. It hurts so bad. Begone, thought! Voices by Jasper as Arthur, LynnLarsh as John, Flamia as Hastur, Vmprsm as the narrator, SSJTrinity, Kraiva, and Somniate as the work introduction. Editing by Flamia, directed by Vmprsm, transcript by Saffron, created and posted with permission from the authors of Surrogate, the Director's Cut.
On a late night stroll, Hastur realizes that something doesn't quite belong, and sets out to find exactly what it is.
Predictably, the games had taken much of Hastur's attention and energy. Unpredictably, this had left him restless when day faded into night, and he was stuck staring at the mountain of paperwork that absolutely could not be done by a lesser member of his court, and he felt like his tentacles had gotten caught in a black hole, and all he could do to escape was tear them off. It was a mess, the whole thing. The spring rite was coming up so soon, and after it was Faro's 8th birthday, too soon. And after that, the final preparations for the games, and then the games themselves, and then... It set his teeth on edge. It made him want to chew his way out of a trap. It made him want to take Faro and flee to the furthest, most secluded place in the universe he could find. It made him want to beg someone to make a deal, any deal. It made him walk his storied halls at night, regal even in his troubled wanderings, and made him listen to the intoxicating, infuriating, horrifically human sound emerging from the music hall. The allure of jazz had worn off, which pleased Hastur. It was enjoyable enough, but there were more important things. He heard John laugh, accompanied by the sound of 2 hands attempting to play the same keys, and he could hear what sounded like Arthur fussing, and a surge of warmth flooded him. What? Hastur paused, on the cusp of opening the door, to stop them, to join them, and focused his mind on...
Stop it!
You stop it. I'm playing the high notes now.
You're being a shit!
Another flood of that warmth spreading through his chest like sunlight.
You're being a shit.
Interesting. Hastur oozed through the open door, head high and smug, and let himself indulge in the thrill of seeing John react, slam his host's left hand on the piano keys, and send Arthur scrambling.
Arthur, it's Hastur.
That's enough.
Almost unbidden, his tentacles wrapped around his composer and plucked him from the floor, holding him aloft like he had so many times before.
I believe you aim to vex me purposefully, composer. So much to do, and yet you spend your time treating the piano as a toy.
Put him down.
Oh, Hastur wanted him to be angry, wanted to see Arthur flinch. He tightened his tentacle around Arthur's chest just enough to pop some of the joints in his spine. A flood of horror crashed through him, and Hastur seized that feeling and drew it back, stretching and rolling it like coarse wool into a fine thread, pulling it taut as he slid a second tentacle around Arthur's chest and clamped his elbows in a painful position, just enough. He tugged, and at last he could see it.
Stop it! He can't breathe!
Now John was approaching a proper bellow, and Hastur drew that golden thread further, and he traced that shining fragment right into that shimmering double mark on Arthur's soul, except this didn't lead him to Arthur. It was John. His mind reeled for a moment. Did he somehow err in his marking and mark his missing piece instead? Impossible, as he could sway Arthur. Did the piece somehow entwine himself so completely with his host that they shared one soul? The double mark suggested otherwise, as did John's continued existence and sentience, or Arthur's, as the case might be.
You!
A feeling of approval, of pride, trembled along the thread, and Hastur began to laugh, dark and cold as the outer edges of the universe. He constricted, just enough to cause a few more pops of Arthur's joints, just enough to bruise, just enough to cause John to cry out in pain as he maneuvered that left wrist just so to make him really feel it.
Arthur!
And then he relaxed, wrapping Arthur almost tenderly, buoying him with his tentacles like he was a favored stuffed bear.
I apologize. The preparations for the games have left me weary and contemptuous. I envy your little piano games. I have no such time or relaxation afforded to me.
You fucker!
That was a bellow, and a good strong one. Arthur's whole body winced, his head pulling back and his shoulders upward as he tried to curl into a ball.
You piece of shit!
John!
Forgive me, Arthur. My search for the solution to Pharaoh's predicament remains ongoing, even in the looming presence of the games.
Arthur's head swiveled in his direction, sightless eyes fixed on him, or where Arthur appeared to believe Hastur's head was. He was off by about 8 inches, and his face a mask of growing fear. The thread trembled with a lot of emotions that Hastur could not quite sort through that quickly.
Arthur, he's trying to distract you.
Right. I know.
Anger, frustration, worry. How could Hastur have ever thought these emotions were his?
I have not sought to remind you.
Hastur gingerly set Arthur down on the ground, letting him find his feet before releasing him. His tentacle lingered, yes, but he was sure that was also an effect of this damned thread.
As I did not wish to fill you with more anxiety. There is nothing you can do, after all.
Arthur's face sank, and Hastur thought he could see tears beginning to form in the corners of his eyes. Helpless. This would not solve his predicament, of course, but it made a many great things much clearer.
I shall leave you to your little diversion.
And to twist the knife.
Thank you for indulging me, Arthur.
He exited, noting Arthur sitting heavily on the piano bench behind him, and lingered for a moment on the outside of the door. No jazz, no words. The thread was unwinding, growing foggy again, and Hastur felt a mixture of grief and anger leaking into the area where it connected with his own spirit. That, at least, was one problem solved. He hummed the entire way back to the war room where his work remained, dipping a finger into the mark every now and then to revel in that delicious despair that he had reminded Arthur of, and the satisfaction alone carried him to the next dawn.
If you enjoyed this production of Surrogate, the Director's Cut, please read the original written work on AO3, where it is still actively updating as of July 2025. A link is in the work notes, where you can also find the social medias of all the production cast. Malevolent was written and produced by Harlan Guthrie, and all characters depicted here belong to their respective creators. The cast and management produced this show for no monetary gain, and all rights remain with the authors. Any sound effects or music used in this production were obtained legally or created by the production cast. Please let us know your thoughts, and, as Kane would say,
Stay tuned for the next episode.